Thanks everyone for coming. Joined by Bowling Green head coach Fred Jamil, as well as student athletes Lexi Fleming and Paige Kohler. We'll start with an opening statement from coach, after which please raise your hand if you have a question for either of our student athletes and hold your questions to coach until after their display.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to keep it together. Okay. Wow. We're really gonna miss our senior crew. They've meant a lot to this team, university, and the community as a whole. It's hard to what might be their last game and watch them walk out the door because they're such a big integral piece of who we are. But we want to make sure we thank them and honor them for all the hard work, sacrifice, and I'll tell you this: they gave us 1,000% of everything they had. There's not one person in that locker room that took shortcuts or didn't give everything they had to their team. So really proud of that. We defensively just kind of collapsed a little bit, and especially in that fourth quarter, and Watson got loose on us a couple times. But it's basketball. It's runs. It's got to make plays, and I got to put them in better positions to succeed. And I just want to end it with thanking them again, and I know they'll be fantastic out in the world because of who they are.
For either player, what did UB do in the fourth quarter to really turn the game in their favor, and how did they capitalize, whether it was offensively or defensively? Paige, I'll start with you.
I just think we let them go on that run. Like you said, it's a game of runs, but we have to be able to stop that bleeding. They punched the paint a little bit too much, and we got to make sure we collapse.
Yeah, I agree with that. Basketball is a game of runs, but we can't let that run get that deep because we didn't end up making our run.
Paige, as a sophomore, how does what's the legacy that the seniors leave behind for you younger players?
It's huge. Their leadership, it's helped me grow as a leader for sure. In the coming years, I've learned from them. Starting as a freshman, they instilled confidence in me that I didn't have. Same with the coaches. So being able to learn from that, from such great leaders, it's gonna help us in the future for sure.
See you regarding Chella most of the game. Just talk about just that matchup. She got her shot, she got going in the fourth, but just how challenging is it trying to slow her down?
Yeah, she's a great player. She is fast in transition, 3-level scorer, so you don't know if she's going to pull up three, a pull up, or take it all the way. She definitely challenged me. I don't know if I did. As a unit, I think that we all have to be better, pack the paint a little bit more. We knew that they like to score in the paint. But yeah, you can't change any of that now.
Paige, the first half was just such a defensive slugfest. No one's giving an inch. How do you guys just try to get through that? We're able to take a 4-point lead in the locker room, only committed one foul out of all that. Just what was kind of the message at halftime after such a really tight first half?
We just had to stay in attack mode. We had to keep getting downhill, keep taking open shots that we were used to taking. But again, like you said, defensively, we kind of let them go on a little run there that we didn't allow necessarily in the first half. So we got to be able to stop that in the second.
Is there any sense for either of the players? Is there any sense also when the game is that physical, kind of all game long, that fatigue also started to set in at all in the fourth? Obviously it's been a long season, all the guards play long minutes, but is there any sense that kind of wears on you guys as the game goes on for either of you?
I think we got to be able to fight through that. Just when it comes down to it, down the stretch, we've been in those moments before, and I think we got to be able to push through that and kind of put that in the back of our heads. That's not gonna allow us to make mistakes down the stretch, and we just gotta dig in, fight defensively.
Paige, these past 2 years, your first 2 years of Bowling Green, being knocked out both years by Buffalo, will there be an added sense of revenge next year to try to get at Buffalo?
Not necessarily. I think we play every team the same way. It's just like any other game. Obviously we don't want to get knocked out by them next year, but it's just like any other game.
Any other questions for our student athletes before we dismiss them? Yep, go ahead.
Lexi, just, obviously a tough finish, but, just the way you guys were playing the second half of the season, through 2 years under Coach Shamil, just where do you think, the program is just kind of heading forward and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's heading in a great direction. The way that we were playing towards the end of the season, I wish that kind of came earlier for us to show more people what we were about. I mean, I would like to say we gave Buffalo our all. Obviously came up short. There's a few things that we're all going to do different individually and as a team. But it's heading in a great direction. We have to, there's a hump that you have to get over. And I believe that we're on the way to getting over that hump for the following years.
Further questions for our student athletes? We will dismiss them at this time. Thank you both.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mr. Friend.
Am I done?
Questions for Coach?
I guess just what did you feel went wrong in that fourth quarter? Kind of similar to the regular season game against them. Just what did they do that really just kind of turned the tide there?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty clear. Watson got loose on us, hit those couple threes, and then they started getting in the paint on us right at the rim. I mean, we just gave too much ground, and we did a pretty good job for 3 quarters packing the paint and not letting them on the interior. And then that fourth quarter, we just kind of opened up the gate a little bit, and then we weren't finishing plays, and catches up to you. And then, a player like Watson, I know Lex was Gardner, but it takes five. And as a team, our awareness had to be higher with her, especially at that point in the game.
Yeah, you have so many great guards, but what is it about their guards that makes things so tough? That first half, it felt like every point was,
Yeah.
you guys really, really had to work.
Yeah. I think they're really physical. I think they can direct you off a ball screen. They can direct a drive, a downhill drive, and it kind of keeps you out of that interior of the 3-point line, which, we like to punch the paint and kick out and move the ball and change sides of the floor. And when you're facing people who are physical like that and kind of maneuver you outside the 3-point line, there's too much east-west movement. And it hurts our offense.
Coach, same question I asked Paige. Heading into next year, is there like an added sense of emphasis or revenge on Buffalo, or is every team kind of the same?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good feeling. I don't, I'm not going to shy away from it's not a very good memory. So I think we have some work to do, but I think it's across the board. There's some losses that we shouldn't have lost. So I do think that there's a somewhat of a hump we need to get over consistency wise, but I think we're on our way, and I think we've got some great pieces that are left in that locker room. And I'm going to work my hardest, and our staff's going to work our hardest to get some more pieces to add to that, and be better next year. Have to be better. Have to just keep on getting better every single year.
You guys were up by 12 during the fourth quarter. Do you feel like you guys let your foot off the gas a little bit? Or was it just Buffalo went out to a different level?
Yeah, I think Watson went to a different level. I think she stroked out those 2 threes and then, kind of stretched us out a little bit. And then next thing you know, people are, right at the rim, finishing around the rim. And then we're having to face a set defense on the way back. We didn't really get into transition. We didn't have a great tempo offensively. So it kind of stagnated us a little bit. But they did a great job. They switched it up, got some full court pressure on us. I didn't think we were very aggressive, breaking the press, kind of squeezed the ball a little bit too much. But that'll be growth. That'll be an area of growth that we need to focus on moving forward.
I'd ask the players about it, but like similar for you, Coach, did you see maybe a sense of also like fatigue hitting in? I mean, I know again, your guards play lots of minutes throughout the season.
Yeah.
Do you see that in some physical games?
No more than usual. I think they're a very well conditioned bunch. They're elite athletes. They could run all day, especially our four guards. And we tried to get them rested towards the end of quarters, and when we could squeeze out a couple minutes there on defensive possessions. So they actually got a little bit more rest. I don't think they were tired. I think we just kind of the defense collapsed a little bit, and then of course we got just a little stagnant on offense.
Any more questions for Coach? Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for your coverage of women's basketball. We appreciate you.